Hey, what's going on, guys? Here at Galaxy Games with Jack Paul, and we're going to be profiling his first place deck profile from the top deck OTS that happened a couple weeks ago. In spite of us playing this children's card game, we are busy people, so that's why this is late. And he was playing Mekk-Knight Invoked. So go ahead and take it away, man.
Okay. All right. I played 3 Alistair. For obvious reasons, he's the best card, best engine card. 3 Mekk-Knight, Purple Nightfall. This is definitely your best Mekk-Knight starter one. He gets you your blue sky, and you can sometimes be able to make him turn. If they make you go first, sometimes you can still pop him out. Like if you have like a spell or trap you can set, and you're able to make Makaba, you can still bring him out, and then at least get your search, and then you'll get him next turn, and then you have your blue sky for follow-up as well. So Purple Nightfall essentially is your best Mekk-Knight. But Blue Sky, who you also play 3 of, this is obviously the other one that's the best one. He searches Mekk-Knights equal to the total number of cards in your opponent's column. So say I special summon a middle column and he has 2 cards in his middle column, I can search 2 Mekk-Knights. So it's pretty good. Essentially, if you open up with Alistair and Purple Nightfall, you can essentially, depending on how your opponent's board is, you can make Sar Yuga with Makaba, and then have a bunch of hand traps and maybe like Scapegoat and stuff like that for your follow-up for next turn. Usually that's like an auto win, and that comes up, believe it or not, a lot with this deck. Next I play 1 Indigo Eclipse and 1 Red Moon. These are the 2 you usually search off of Blue Sky, and these are the ones that help you combo to make the Sar Yuga Makaba play that I was talking about. But they're also good for if you obviously don't want to go that route. It's good with Indigo that when he's out on the field, you can essentially bring out Red Moon if there's something in the column like a monster, pop it, and then you could essentially move him over, and then pop another monster. That comes up very rarely, but it's still something that gives you an option to do that. So it's pretty good. But that pretty much does it for the Mekk-Knights. This is something I wasn't playing at the OTS that I got first at. I actually was just playing. I just started playing these recently. The Kaijus are actually like really helpful, and because there's certain matchups that give this deck a disadvantage, like True Draco being able to like anti-spell you turn 1, and this gives you an advantage to at least get over their Masterpiece that turn and then set up for next turn. So I'm trying these 2 out. So far they haven't been bad, and I played the Earth Invoked monster, so sometimes that comes up to where I can make him. I think I'm going to cut that though and put back in Elysium. I forgot that he can attribute himself to pretty much banish your opponent's whole field since he counts as all the attributes. Shout out to Justin, the one that I played actually for first. He was the one that did a deck profile earlier that Smallville did with, and I completely forgot about that. So it's actually still kind of good. I'd rather have that than the Earth one, honestly. And then for the hand traps, you pretty much just maximize. Woo, there she goes. Maximize on pretty much the main hand traps right now. I personally don't like Droll right now. I mean, like Droll is like a still good hand trap, obviously, but I think these are just better, obviously, and you can main deck these ones without having an issue. And plus, this gives you your Purgatrio, and this gives you your Makaba, and gives you tons of targets. So if the Ogre's dead in your hand, which comes up a lot, I can still make my Makaba turn 1 pretty easily without having to waste Mekk-Knights.
Great.
Next onto the spells, I play 3 Scapegoats. It's the GOAT. Obviously, got to play 3 of those.
Win con.
Oh yeah, 3 Terraforming, just because you still want to see your Alistair. I mean, you can usually essentially see it like all the time, but Terraforming still gets you there, and it's free deck thin if you already have your Alistair anyway. 3 Invocations, just because people are maining a lot of stuff right now. Obviously, like see how many hand traps I'm maining that stop Alistair from getting the effect. But if you have your Invocation already, you're essentially to a sense making them -1 by using their hand trap on your Alistair that didn't really need the search anyway.
Also makes it to where you don't really worry about banishing all of them off of desires as well.
Exactly. 2 Meltdown. I was playing 3 at the tourney, but the reason I cut it down to 2 was the last regional I went to. I was seeing way too many of this Meltdown hand, and like it's really not that good because you can only activate it once per turn to search Alistair, and it's just not. You don't want to see too many of this turn 1. I mean, most of the time I'll see like this and a Terraforming, and like that's already kind of meh. But I'd rather see Terraforming because you can manipulate it to where you can set it, and then at least get your Mekk-Knights out on board. So it's like a starter spell. But the Meltdowns in your hand don't really net you any advantage unless you're obviously using them to get your Alistair. So I cut it down to 2 because it doesn't throw off the feng shui of the deck, and usually I already see Alistair anyway. So 2 Meltdown I feel like is okay, and it helped me cut down my deck to 40 because the OTS I was playing 41, and I wanted to keep it as close to 40 as possible from now on. 2 Pot of Desires just for consistency, obviously. 1 Regeki and 1 Monster Reborn, 2 staple 1-ofs, in my opinion. And then to finish it off, I played 3 evenly matched in the main. So far, it hasn't been a problem, and I see a lot of people aren't doing that right now, which it is very odd. optional and very like depending on how you feel about it. But I really like evenly matched because it's won me so many games, and like in one of the games in the tournament, I beat a paleo player game 3 because I activated the one evenly matched in hand I had. He negated it with Solemn, and then I was still in the end of the battle phase, and then just activated another one and he scooped. So it was really it's never been a problem in my opinion. I mean, it just depends on what you think about it. Onto the extra deck, played 4 tokens, the goat tokens, because they're awesome, they're OP. 2 Macabre, probably bump this up to 3 at some point. I just it spiked whenever I was debating to make a third or get a third Macabre, and I'm not paying. It was like 67 whenever it spiked, so I was like, yeah, I'll just wait. So I'll get a third one maybe at some point, but it's never at the tournament I played 2, and it really didn't come up to where I needed a third one, honestly, like that. 1 Purgatrio, I cut him down to 1 because like you kind of make him decently, but like it seems like in most games I've only ever made him once, so I'm not really worried about having that second one, honestly. He just helps you win a lot of games. I made an ABC player because I forgot to make Macabre to banish his B engrave, so that way he couldn't make Buster. I forgot to do that. He made Buster, got real cocky, and was like, oh, you could have beat me. You're going to lose now. Like, literally saying that I was going to lose. And then on my turn, I made this, and I was just like... And he had like 5,000, or yeah, like 5,000 life, and I was just like, you lose now. Because he already banished... one of the cards I had. I was still able to make Purgatrio, and then he brung his ABCs in defense mode, and I was just like, you lose now, because he had a lot of stuff on field. So I was like, yeah, he's big, and I had some Mekk-Knights in hand. I was like, yeah, you're gonna lose now. I played the Earth one. Like I said, I'm gonna switch him out back for Elysium. I didn't realize how Elysium actually is pretty good. I mean, he's still kind of hard to get out on board sometimes. You don't really want to waste, an extra deck monster you have on board to make him. But like, if your opponent has an unbreakable board, I mean, that might be the way to get you to break it. And this Earth one's man. It just sometimes I could see it coming up because there's a lot of decks that have Earth monsters in there. 1 Borlo just because he can win you games. He's like best Link right now. Yep. 1 Saryuga because he's like I said, you can make him easily with Alistair and Purple Nightfall.
Other best Link.
Oh yeah, other best Link for sure. 1 Decode Talker, he's just a staple Link 3. 1 Nigrisu because you play Scapegoat, so you can make the Nigrisu combo, and then 1 Ib to go along with it.
Draw 1, get rid of a card.
Exactly. 1 Agashek Magician, I really like this card. I know a lot of builds aren't playing, but I like it because I main Kaijus now, especially. I was doing it because I even sided him, but now that I main it, this is like way more prevalent. And I can get my Kaiju back by special summoning her and still continue to make Link plays because she's Link 2, so it's come up a lot. And pretty much you just make her with like, I can make her with Link Karibo and Link Spider, or 2 Mekk-Knights, which most of the time it's these, but there's going to be some times where I'd rather use the the Mekk-Knights because it'd be more prevalent. 1 Proxy Dragon, I actually wasn't playing this, and I don't know why I wasn't playing this. For some reason I forgot that he was just 2 monsters and not just 2, like it could be 2 tokens, so this is actually better, definitely for this build. 1 Mrs. Radiant just for the Scapegoats as well, and 1 Underclock Taker. This comes up a lot actually, won me a lot of games. Yeah. And then I'll go to the side. Awesome tokens.
Sexy Field Center.
Oh yeah, beautifulness. Get these out of the way if I can pick them up. The side's kind of weird now. It's going to change a lot when I get some cards in the mail, but this is what I have right now. This is like way different than like with the tournament I had. I have 1 Gamma Steel just for an extra game Kaiju for certain matchups. 1 Dark Hole. I was maining it, but like it's kind of, sometimes I don't really want to see this, and it's just, because it destroys my monsters too. Sometimes that's not that great unless it's just Alistair, because I can still get the...
Regeki is also a card that you can set and then summon your guys and then flip the Regeki.
Exactly. Yeah, Dark Hole's kind of meh for that situation, but it's good. It's good for certain matchups like Pen Magicians. Next, play 3 Cosmic Cyclone, just because Cosmic Cyclone is obviously good against True Draco and Pendulums, and it's just a good side in general. 3 Mind Control. This, like, I see a lot of people maining this instead, but like there's certain matchups I don't really want to see this against, like True Draco if they have Masterpiece unaffected by spells, which is like 90% of the time. Yeah, like it's just not that good. I don't want to have it main for that reason. Next, I play 3 Unending Nightmare. This is like an auto win against some decks, especially Pendulum Magician, so it's always going to be a side until I don't see it fit anymore to be in there. 3 Dimensional Barrier, just because Pendulums and, obviously like the Mirror Match and stuff like that. And then to finish it off, 1 Solemn Judgment. It wasn't the main actually for the tournament. It was my 41 card, and basically my theory behind it was like, well, I'm most of the time I'm going to go second, but like late game, if like I happen to draw this off something random like Pot of Desires or like even Ningrisu, it can solidify the game game because you're always going to be able to activate this even if you're like 100 life. I mean, you can still like activate it, so it's always going to be able to negate something pretty much more or less, and can help you win the game essentially.
Yeah, negation on board plus judgment. A lot of times just too much to get over.
Exactly. So that was pretty much my theory behind it, but it pretty much did the job. It was good for that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it pretty much does it for the deck profile, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Shout out to Justin. Me and him got to play first. He's over there putting his stuff away like a cool guy. Yeah. We played for first, and it was a really nitty-gritty game. Like the only reason I literally won was because I had an Alistair. I had Purgatrio on board, and I was attacking for game. Before entering battle phase, he effect veilered my Purgatrio, and he was like he'll be at 200 life. Well, I top decked Alistair, so I just pushed for game, and that's literally all it took. So
yeah, and then you guys faced like what, round 2, and he got that.
Yep. Yeah.
So you guys were very evenly matched.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, it was very back and forth. Even today when we play, it's still back and forth because we know each other's decks real well too, so that helped a lot. But it was a fun last game for the tournament, so we were happy either way, whoever won.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the deck profile. Please like and subscribe to Andrew's page, and you guys have a good day.
All right, thanks, Shaq. Congrats on first place.
Thanks, man.